Hey everyone, welcome to Reasons Roots. My name is Lauren and I am a homeschool mom to 4 kids. We love using the Charlotte Mason method, so we are heavily inspired by Charlotte Mason's philosophy of education. And with that comes a little different twist on reading. And so I just wanted to show what I use that has been a great success and help with my little guys. He is learning to read. So we are using 2 main resources. We are using Delightful Reading Level 2 from Simply Charlotte Mason. This is a phenomenal program. I'm going to flip the camera around and show you inside of it. This is one of his favorite activities to do in our school time. It feels more like games to him. It is very play oriented, and so he loves this and he does very well with this program. Now, I had tried using this program like a year or so ago, and I had put it on the shelf and waited a little while, and I'm so glad I did because he is thriving with it now. And you know, that's a huge proponent of teaching reading in the Charlotte Mason philosophy, is waiting until the child is ready. So as I pulled this out, I saw that he wasn't quite ready to blend words together. So he does have autism, so it's very hard for him to blend his words. But as I have waited for him to mature and waited on his readiness, I have seen him blossom using this program. So I'll flip it around and show you exactly what's inside of it in just a minute. But we use this, and I use this in the mornings. So we start our time on the couch together. I usually read his Bible story, maybe a read aloud book, and I do some math, like flashcard drill with him, and then we use this in our like morning time or like warm-up time, and he loves it. He thinks it's a game. So that is a great resource that we have loved. And I have also started using the McGuffey's original primer. Okay, so I just started him on the very first book to give him some confidence, because these words are a little easy for him at the very start, but I wanted him to have confidence because reading is something that he has struggled with. So we are about 12 lessons into the McGuffey reader, and he is doing so well with this, and he loves it. I wasn't sure if this would hold his attention very well, but it does. He loves the little pictures, and he loves making up stories that goes with the pictures. So I'll show you how this is laid out and how I use it as well. So we use the reader, but I also have Sherry Hayes' book that goes, it's called just the lesson book, that goes with, that she designed to go with the McGuffey readers. And I found this. She's a YouTube mom. I'm sure most of you probably know her. And she is Charlotte Mason inspired as well. She has lots of great videos on notebooking and teaching reading through the McGuffey readers. And this has been a great resource. This is something that you just buy on Amazon, and it just basically goes with the readers, so you can practice copy work, dictation, and like if you want to teach like sight words or their spelling words. So all of that is included in the lesson book. So spelling, copy word, dictation, all of that right here in this book. So first I'm just going to show you the Simply Charlotte Mason Delightful Reading Level 2. This is words I can build. So this is level 2. It's not a grade level per se. It is more of a level-based approach. Okay, so you have several components with it. You will have your letter tiles, and you will have your words I can build notebook that each child will need one of those if you have multiple children going through this. Then you have the teacher's guide here. You have little stickers that they'll instruct you to use. And then you have these beautiful word cards that the teacher's guide will instruct you to use. And you play games with these, but of course, since it's Simply Charlotte Mason, they included some beauty on them. So I just love the fact that they're pretty to look at, and they're also functional, okay, for your child. And so they are divided up by the lessons that you need. And so we use these a lot in, like for instance, I will take these words and I will hide them around our house, and he will find them. And as he brings them to me, he reads them to me. And so that's a fun game to play. That's probably his favorite game we play with these cards. But you can make all kinds of games with these cards to use. So every lesson, you will look into the teacher's guide, and it tells you exactly what blends you are using. Okay, it tells you, it gives you a review section, it tells you to use your letter tiles, and it will help you teach how to blend the words. And then there's always a practice or some sort of game that's included with each lesson. And then at the end of the lesson, you will always record the word that, or record what you've learned in your book here. So like a word I can build with an ing ending, then they would write that here, and then they would circle the words that end with ing here. So it's just a little bit of an activity, and they get to write one of their words they choose from the lesson. And this has just been really fun. Something that I have added on to this that we do is I have purchased this, just this little spelling pad or this line pad. And whatever blend we're working on, I might ask him to write 2 or 3 of the words that we have covered, just so he can practice a little bit, because he does need a little more reinforcement. And so that has worked well, and he enjoys that. And like I said, we just use this kind of as a warm-up in our warm-up top basket in the mornings, and he has loved it. He does very well with it, and he enjoys playing all the games. So we're looking forward to moving on to level 3 in it soon. And then as far as the McGuffey readers go, this is, I just have the primer, and with the primer, you know, it goes over how different the letters can look. And especially with a child with autism or any kind of special needs, I think this is very valuable to show them exactly how they can look differently. And so that was a nice addition. But then, let me just show you, flip to lesson 1. So some lessons, they'll have like a spelling list. And every time you see spelling, they're wanting you to instruct the child to sound out these words, to blend them together. So just think of spelling as sounding them out and blending them together. So that is like the spelling section. And these are the words that you can copy and use in the lesson book. You could write, for example, I would write is, it, and ox. And I would also add my, and yes, and that's all for here. Okay, so I would copy them in the first line. And you want to use very neat writing and write them for the child there. Then below, they are going to copy them, okay? And you want to stress that they look exactly like your writing. And my son has done very well with the 3 different colors that Sherry uses here. You know, like we say under the water for like anything that hangs below the bottom line here. And then lowercase and then the uppercase part, okay? But what's really neat here is that they get to illustrate the word. So whatever word, if you write ox here, they get to draw a picture of the word ox. And even little words like it or and, it's amazing how creative children can be, and they will draw an illustration to match their words. My son has really enjoyed doing that. There is sections up here for you to label the lesson and title your lesson. So there's a two-page spread, and usually this covers 1 lesson. And so you'll see in the book, lesson 1 has this little part of reading. And then, so really there's 3 different sections with lesson 1. But, like for lesson 7 here, there is only 2. And you'll see there's no spelling words listed. So I just use the new words, and I'll just have them sound those out. But later on in the book, they do bring out the spelling, and you see how they have that broken up for them as they go on. And so it will take 2 of the lesson books to get through the primer. So we're about halfway through lesson book 1, I would say, and then we will move on and get another the lesson book 2, which is a little different than this one, to finish up the primer. Okay, so something else that is included here is copy work. So you can just like write out however much you think your child can handle of the lesson and have them copy it. And also there is a dictation part. And so this is like, you know, spelling for Charlotte Mason philosophy. And so every day what I do is have him, I dictate a sentence to him and have him write it here. Now I'm not as concerned with his handwriting on dictation as I am with copy work and, you know, with the words, because right here he is focusing on spelling those words correctly and even using proper grammar that we are using. We use first language lessons, and so he knows to capitalize and he knows about punctuation, and so I will make sure that he understands that, and he will write out the sentence that I say, and I will just use one of the sentences that he has read from his lesson that day. Okay, and so I will use this the whole week, the whole lesson, and then at the end of the week he just gets to draw a picture from his lesson, and that's very enjoyable as well. So I'll just show you the back of the lesson book, and want to emphasize is that this is not a workbook, and that you decide what needs to be copied and dictated, what words to use. You know your child best, and this is also a great just memory keeper, that you'll be able to look back at this and have fond memories of your child as they're learning to read. So we have really enjoyed the lesson book by Sherry Hayes, coupled with the primer, McGuffey's primer, and then the delightful reading Words I Can Build. So this is what we use for the majority of his language arts. We do use first language lessons as well. And so this is first language lessons, and we have thoroughly enjoyed this. I have always used Rod and Staff for language arts, and we do most of it orally, but I have loved the gentle approach that this has brought, and it has been so enjoyable. So we are at the very end. I think we're on like lesson 99. But what this does is it has a lot of poetry memorization, it has narration, it covers capitalization, punctuation, nouns, verbs, pronouns, and it's just a very enjoyable lesson. So we'll be moving on to level 2 after Christmas. But this is very short. It takes us 10 to 15 minutes to do a lesson, if that. There's some copy work. Yes, you're at level 2. There's copy work as well, and it is scripted for you. So you can see it says instructor, say this, together, you will say the definition of a pronoun. And so it's very scripted and it's very thorough, I believe, and the lessons are very short. So we have enjoyed this as also part of his language arts, not necessarily reading, but it does tie in to the language arts section. So we will be moving on to level 2 soon and continuing with these two. So I hope you enjoyed just seeing a peek into those 2 resources, or 3 resources, counting Leaving Language Lessons, that we enjoy as we teach language arts through the Charlotte Mason philosophy.